through it. Make sure everything's good. The cat's coming, so watch out. So we have so far. Some people mention that there are problems with buffering. Well, I apologize about that. As far as I know, I closed anything on my end should be okay, but I do apologize. Hopefully that'll get resolved soon. I'm not seeing any latency, but I guess you never know with Twitch. Let me know if it keeps up. I can always restart it. Nutritious, hey, what's up, man? Do I only stream source quality or something? I don't know what that means. I'm new to streaming, so. Oh, okay, too high quality for mobile network. I don't know. I couldn't say. I need to look into it more. For now, I know that this works in general. It's what I've been using, so I'm going to keep it like this for now. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so we played the track. Track sounds pretty good. So I noticed as I was listening to this that it might be a little sub-heavy, so in the 30 hertz range, 30 hertz and below. I don't really have any master EQ at the moment. Let's take a look at that EQ. Down here. So I want to take a look at anything that could be making that spike up. So this is a sub pad, okay. I want the drop, there needs to be like a big contrast between this and what comes after. So to do that, I'm going to tone down the bass in the intro a little bit. This part here. It's trillion. And also I'm thinning out that high end because I think it's a little sharp. Okay. So we want that to sound very like clean and smooth. Another thing that I noticed was that this transition, I feel like it could be a little bit better. Like let's do like a drum fill or something, because right now, here's the drum pattern, I believe. And this is a really simple kit. I mean, it's not supposed to sound like the final kit. Let's see. So we can turn up the room mics. But I'm also thinking maybe giving it a little bit of reverb and just make it sound a bit more spacious. So let me, we'll take a look. This is Arts Acoustic reverb. It's an algorithmic reverb. Drums, big room. That's okay. Also, this whole kit is a little, maybe a bit high-end heavy. Uh-oh, cat's coming. Okay, kitty. I'm probably gonna have to feed her at some point soon. That's what happens. I'll do it on my next break. Okay. I'm thinking also for this kit, so I just want it to sound a little bit bigger, a little bit better. These Fab Filter, kitty, get out of here. That's the cat on the keyboard. Fab Filter Saturn. Really like this. Kitty, get down. Momo, get out of here. Big fatso. She's 16 pounds. Huge cat. Okay, let's see how this sounds in context. So like a tom fill, I think could sound pretty good. Something like that. Let's start with a. Okay, yeah, like. Okay, so like, now we want to do, I say so like and so a lot, sorry. Play around a little bit. Maybe just the second, like just this part here. And triplets. I think could sound good. Piano roll, let's pull that up. Da, 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 da. So that's a, those are triplets. Doo, doo. See how that sounds. Oops, okay. It's okay. One thing about this kit is that I don't like how wide the toms are. I'd almost rather have them be like practically mono. Like this one especially. It's just, it's a little distracting otherwise, you know? Also, I like that more. So instead of starting kind of high, we'll have it go to the low tom faster. Do, do, boo, 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 boo. It doesn't need to be loud because it's going to be layered with everything else. Okay, now the issue is that the toms are too muddy. But I like having that fill. So what I need to do is just thin them out for this part. See, this stuff down here is too loud, so I'll automate this EQ band so that it is cleaner for those toms. Simple as that. Don't need to do anything else, I don't think. And then also if we do that, then I can turn them up more. I'll play it back in a second. Cool. Okay, I think that's going to sound pretty good. And then we'll take a look at the drop. Yeah, it's sounding pretty good. I am definitely happy with that. These notes could use more motion. Da, ba ba, maybe like that. Awesome. Okay, that's good. Welcome to everybody that's just coming in. Lumnia, what's up? And Zetabyte, how you doing? I need to move Skype to another window. I'll do that soon. So that sounds a little off at the moment, but that's because it's not starting from the right point. That's what it's supposed to sound like. So the reason it's doing that is because I have to like reset the glide, so it's gliding from the top down. So I'll just do a really short note, and that should fix it. Why is that holding? Okay, I don't know why that's happening. It's a common theme for today's stream, I guess. Why are things happening? Okay, well, the stupid hacky workaround is I'll just automate the synth down and put it back up for when it needs to come up. That works. Okay. One part of this, the zebra synth that I made, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. It's just not doing it for me. I'll save this preset because I could use it for something else. Save it as classy bass. But I think I'm just going to pull out Serum again because Serum is just so damn cool. No, I'm sorry. I did not get the chance to listen to that that artist. I'm very sorry. I will do that. So here we have the... Wow. I had some crazy EQ on this, huh? Let's make something here. Yeah, it'd be cool. Missgate. Thanks. Yeah, I am very happy to be streaming. It's a lot of fun, and it's also motivating to do work in real time. So what I want to do, so I made automation for Zebra, right? So I have this envelope. What I can do with that is I can link it to Serum and just use the same automation, as opposed to like drawing all new stuff. I can still change it later, but this way, let's see, where is it? It would have been Zebra 2, number 5, X1. Okay. It might behoove us to make a simpler bass sound and not really go crazy with it. This might be a little too simple. So let's start with that. Add a little bit of some kind of noise. Also put this in mono. So that's good. Okay. So that's kind of like a nice, relatively simple waveform. So even this might be enough. It might not need any more than this. That's too quiet, obviously, but... The second oscillator is probably a little too simple. I might end up changing this automation after all. Let me delete this and kind of get like a nice like wow, wow, like that. So if you can imagine that motion, So we'll have it kind of go up like that. And so I can compare, the notes are down here and the automation's up here. I think that kind of motion is what I'm looking for. That, okay, I like that motion, but the synth is still a little plain. Yeah, well, I might change the note too. You're right. It provoks, but remember that this is right before the downbeat, so the downbeat is where that note's going to be. Da, sort of like da. That's where the note currently is at, and then it goes to da afterwards. So let's pull up, I don't know, something. That's cool. Wow. I don't know. We could do the same kind of motion on this. Let's hear how that sounds. In fact, that upper synth could be layered with like a, could be layered with this, and this could dive down possibly. Okay, yeah, it's sounding better. Favorite synthesizer, usually I would say Zebra 2, but I am really liking Serum. This is the first track that I've really been using it on, and I've just been very impressed by it. So this is becoming a favorite. It's so easy to use. That's the main thing. Let's see what happens if we automate some of the other stuff in here. If it sounds better, worse. Take that, and we'll automate that as well. Like so. Okay, see how that sounds. Okay, a little bit better. Harmonizing the bass with the high synth. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Good idea. I'll let me carve it up a little bit more. One thing I like about Serum is that you can turn on a sub for extra reinforcement. You have independent control over that. Okay. Okay, let's try layering this with something else. Another synth. We'll put it up an octave. take that massive and put it on its own channel, as with everything else. Where did I get Serum? I bought it. I buy everything I use. I mean that. You know, one thing I would just say to anybody looking to make music, yes, it's easy to pirate software, but besides the fact that I make music software, so I see things from the other side now, honestly, if you're starting out, there's so many good free things, like, and you're not really going to be able to use all the features of an advanced synth like Serum right off the bat, or like Zebra, because if you're still getting the basics of synthesis, like, you know, you're probably going to be better suited to use something like Synth One, for example, or there's a free synth by Yuhi. So that's the kind of stuff I started with. And then once you feel like you have a good base of knowledge, I mean, you could save up a little bit of money. You could get Serum secondhand, or you could get Zebra secondhand. You could wait till something goes on a no-brainer sale at like Audio MIDI or Nova Music. I just feel like piracy, it's doing yourself a disservice, because it's really easy to accumulate a lot of stuff and not really learn how to use any of it. All the synths that I use, I know how to use all of them, you know, because I've spent so much time with them. And if I just had like a million synths, then I wouldn't know them as well. So that's my take on it. So this is going to be the layer. I don't know, we'll have to experiment a little bit with this one. That's still too low. Let's put that up another octave. When I say I create instruments, is that programming? It's a mix. So I make these sample libraries and virtual instruments for a company called Impact Soundworks, which I co-founded. And so we record stuff and we turn it into sampled instruments. And part of that is audio editing and sound design, like knowing how to use EQs and effects and stuff. And the other part of it is, you know, to create advanced logic. Like, so for example, I created an instrument called Shreddage 2, which is a virtual guitar. And I did all the programming for it so that when you play on your keyboard, you get an accurate representation of like where each finger would be on the fretboard, for example, having effects and presets. So all that stuff is it's a mix of programming and editing, basically. Okay, so that synth is better. Yeah, maybe we'll take a look at it again later, but anyway, for now. That's all good. I think that second section is sounding nice and tight overall. Although one thing I don't like, that the bells on top, the da 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 part, I need to gate those so that they don't last as long. Boost that high end a little bit on that first bell. Okay, so now I'll create a mute for each of these. and then I'll use one automation clip to control both of them. So I'll create that, mute to mute, and we'll rename this to bell gate mute. And then back on this channel, link to controller, wait, this one, link to controller, bell gate mute. So now they'll use the same one. Make sure this is triggering properly. So we could probably also turn these up more too for this part. Same deal, I'll create an automation clip for each one, and then I'll just link them together. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I ended up creating two. Whatever, fine, I have two. Start it a little early because I don't want to affect the rest of the song that might have these instruments. That's why I have them split here. Hold. Cool, yeah. So again, this part, I want it to be a little choppy, so that's why I did that gating. Do I ever use growth speed? Killinaughty. I have used it. I used it on Just Hold On. However, lately I prefer using Isotope Stutter Edit if I'm going to do that sort of stuff. So, you know, as much as I love FL Studio and ImageLine plugins, I really like Stutter Edit. It's a fantastic plugin. Another question. It's a wonder I have time to do this stream. Yeah, when it comes to creating instruments, I actually streamed that at one point. I showed the programming process. In fact, if you're curious, I'll just show you. I have it open in a window right now. So here's a grand piano instrument that I'm creating in Contact, and you can see it is currently a lot of lines of code, 4,000 lines of code. So all this is stuff that I wrote for this instrument that's going to be coming out later this month. Like, for example, here's something that scales the volume of the instrument based on velocity, and then you can choose like what velocity you want to scale it to. I have a micro tuning script that I wrote. It'll trigger different things based on whether the pedal's down or not. So yeah, I do get my hands dirty with the programming stuff. So just I just happened to be working on that earlier today. Okay, back to the track. Dasinen, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. What software do I recommend for beginners? It depends on what platform you're on. If you're on a Mac, I actually recommend GarageBand. If you're on a PC, Sonar has like a $99, it might even be $50 now. It's like a Sonar, Cakewalk Sonar Studio, I think, or like Sonar Artist. That's a really nice place to start. I'd recommend FL2, FL Studio as well, but I think you should try it first because you might not like the way FL works compared to other things. I think it's really fast, but you know, others might disagree. All right, so let's play this. Let's move on to the next part, see how it is. So the bass is a little muddy here. Probably don't need that. Let's just move this bass over. Something crazy is happening here. Also, I need to figure out what instrument that's on. Okay, so that's the problem. There were two notes that were clashing. I had a feeling there was something weird going on. And then also here, there should be like a bright element, because we're chopping it, we're gating it, but I don't want it to be totally empty. So like, so actually I could bring the pads in here maybe, or maybe make something different. Yeah. Let's try adding a new, just simple, like upwards arpeggio for that part. Obviously not that sound. Take a look. So I made some presets that I use all the time. Let's start simple and see how that sounds. What would be cool is if that, whatever sound I used there, if that delayed like dun 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 dun, so had like an awesome delay on that, because that kind of shimmering element, I do want that to stand out more as Zebra. Yeah, I agree. Exactly. Sutson. Yeah, I agree. It needs more high-end stuff. So. That sounds cool, right? Play around with the waveform maybe a little bit and see, maybe use something different than just a plain sine wave. That sounds pretty good. It's not. Maybe just a square wave. I don't know. I feel like it's not really exactly where I want it. We could do a square wave, but then to give it a little bit of motion, that's pretty cool. And maybe a little bit of reverb too. Never hurt anybody. Cat is definitely upset and needs to be fed, so I'm gonna feed her in a second here. Oh, also, I mean, this is kind of just too soft. Like, let me turn this up, turn the delay down. Let's see how this would sound if we use the same synth later. So probably maybe softer here. Doesn't need to be quite so loud. Automate it. You can tell, by the way, I like automation. Is that apparent by looking at my projects? If not, then you're not looking close enough because I use a lot of automation. One sec. So I'm going to bring in delay, vibrato after a second while we're fading it out. Actually drag that out more and make the fade a bit more gradual because you kind of can't hear it too well. Okay, one more time. Needs to be even a little bit longer, I think. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Need to feed the cat. Let me put something up on screen so it's clear where I am. Feeding the cat. Hold on. This is really important. Okay. I'll be back. Okay. All right. Cat's been fed. Situate myself. Okay. All right. Back. Here we go. So, for those of you that have come in late, perhaps, let's go back and listen to the track in full and get a sense of where it's at as of this point. So, and then I'm going to give away an album or two. So, stay tuned. Adjusting that bass level a little bit. Fix that. Okay, a couple things I want to fix. Also, yes, I definitely, names, very good, need names. One thing, I agree, having the extra kicks here, probably not necessary. I'll just mute them for now. But I do like the tom fill, so I'm going to keep that. Yeah, that's better. Yes, I agree. Okay, the second thing was da 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 da. Wow. That part needs to be better as well. Where is it? Let's see. Nope. Trying to figure out what pattern. Oh, here we go. Right here. Let's see what would happen if I just mute that top layer. I'm actually okay with that. Maybe I can use that for something else later, but I kind of like it without it. Okay, also, a couple questions came up in the chat. One question was, how does it feel with Jill on tour all the time? Jill Universe is my wife, and she is the vocalist for Video Games Live. And sometimes I travel with her. So actually, at the end of this month, March, I'll be going with her to Europe if all goes well. So that'll be fun. Otherwise, when she's not here and it's just me and the cats, yeah, it gets a little lonely. But streaming is nice because then I get to interact with you guys. So it's 2 thumbs up for that. Are there any plugins I regret buying? Kellanaughty. That I regret buying. Not lately. There might have been some stuff when I was in high school, because that's when I started making music. I was maybe 15 or 16, and I kind of would just buy stuff for the sake of buying it. I bought some like sample and loop libraries that I don't really use or like. But plugins, no, I use basically everything I have. That's what ideally what you want to be doing. You don't want to have stuff that you don't use. I'm just kind of like looking at my plugins list here. No, I use basically all this stuff, so I guess I should be happy. I haven't made any bad buying decisions lately. I guess I learned my lesson. Yes, I do recommend Zebra 2. Definitely, Zebra 2 is awesome. Okay, album. Let's give away. Gonna give away 2 codes. 2 album codes that you can redeem on my Bandcamp page, zirconstudios.bandcamp.com/yum. So I'll type that out here. Somebody will probably beat me to it. /yum. Okay. And the first code is going to be for my album Unearthed. And the second code is going to be for Identity Sequence. Unearthed is a collection of electronic songs that I've done, electronic and atmospheric tracks. And they were basically things that I worked on over the years that I made for maybe different projects and albums that never got released. So it's sort of like it's called Unearthed because zircon is a mineral. Haha, get it. Anyway. And then Identity Sequence, of course, is my, I think it's my 10th album. And that was like the big one. And it got kickstarted. And I like it a lot. So, all right, the code for Unearthed. I'm going to read the letters out one by one. So it is your job to then put them in to that code thing, and may the fastest typer / best listener win. Okay, and the letters are Alpha, Vernacular, Fun, Doggy, Kakarot, Nancy, 4. Okay, once again. Avocado, Venus, Fahrenheit, Dalmatian, Kakarot, Nevermore, 4. So I try to do some different stuff to make it a little bit harder. Okay, so that's the first code. Now get ready for code number 2. For this one, I'm going to paste the first 7 characters in the chat. And then the last character I'm going to say. So I'm going to paste this code in the chat. And the last character is going to be... I have to think of a clever thing to say for this. Or like a riddle or trivia or something like that. Okay, it's not that clever, but anyway. Here you go. And for the last character, Brooklyn 9 blank. Brooklyn 9 blank. Figure it out. It's not too hard. Speaking of Jill, she just IM'd me, so that's nice. She is currently traveling to California to shoot a Zelda music video. Okay, so track is good. I like kind of how everything is going here. So now is the fun part. I get to do a breakdown, and I love me some breakdowns. So how do we want to do this? So we obviously need a symbol and probably a reverse symbol to go into this. So this, we want it to be very atmospheric and awesome. You're very welcome. What is this? Why is this here? Oh, this is the atmospheric stuff from the beginning. I don't know why it's in that part of the song. It shouldn't be there. That's a mistake. Playing outside. Okay. So obviously we're going to fade that out. We don't want it to overpower everything. But we'll need to make sure that we bring it back to its normal level later on. Hold. And we'll delete that, delete that. Okay. Fade that a little faster. Don't worry, it's not the end of the song. This is just, wow, look at all that automation. This is just to transition into the next part. We don't want it to be like totally sudden. Maybe it's another fall effect, you know, for good measure. These symbols aren't on a track. What am I doing? Getting sloppy. 18. Channel 18. Here we go. So we're going to do some pads for this, for sure. Let's pull some up. What games am I currently playing? Mostly Diablo 3 at the moment. I'm a big fan of Diablo. Huge fan, as a matter of fact. I did a stream where I was playing my Barbarian in Hardcore Seasonal, and then I died later that night, so that was bad. Currently, I have a Monk, Hardcore Seasonal, that is breezing through Torment 4. So I think I could do Torment 5 at a minimum. And I've beaten... I can safely beat, with time left, Greater Rift level 27. So doing pretty well. I'm working on my sets now. And then besides that, I'm playing on my PlayStation Vita. I'm playing Disgaea 3. Mostly for handheld games. I like stuff that's really deep and that you can... I know it's kind of weird. Some people prefer handheld games that are like pick up and play and then, you know, just play for 10 minutes or whatever. But I actually like that for RPGs and really deep stuff so that I can go in and I can, you know, grind a little bit or something like that. So I play that like every night for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. Besides that, I started Final Fantasy X for Vita, but that's, you know, that's all. I played it for maybe an hour, and then I got Disgaea 3, and I've been playing that for like 2 months. Such a deep game. I've not played Ape Escape or Rhythm Heaven. Sorry. Let's isolate just this part. So like 3, 1, 2, 3. This is what we want to do at the end, right? I want to do maybe a different progression here. Start with this chord. Okay, yeah, let's get that, it might not be these exact pads, but because they're very easy to hear, I'm going to record using these anyway. I don't know why it's cutting in and out like that. I think it's because I have Smart Disable on for CPU usage reasons. So I think I like that progression. I think that's cool. And I actually have some ideas for some other instruments to add to this part. See if I can fix that cutting in and out issue. And then I want to pull up more pads from Celestia for this. Just get really, really atmospheric. And I was thinking it could be cool to have like a solo coda playing for this, like some really sparse, really nice plucks. I think could sound great. Where did I store Celestia on this computer? I think it's here's Coordination. Okay, let me get these before I forget. Actually, Contact is on channel 47. Okay, do that. Kodo, and then let's check out Kodo Pizzicato. Whoops. Okay, yeah. So I think that could sound really cool and kind of loop that and build on it. So, two-part process. First, I wanted to have a really very atmospheric delay. Again, name of the game is Atmosphere. Now let's pull up some other stuff. Sorry, not this. What am I thinking of? FM8. Hey, what's up, TVDQI? And Bully Hoist. Welcome, welcome. So that's going to be good. For reverb on this one, I'm inclined to use Valhalla Shimmer just because it sounds so good. Just kind of playing around with how that can sound in context. Yeah, maybe before those main pads come in, like let me hold off on that actually, and then just have like a nice kind of almost meditative sustain first for a little while, and just build up this ambience instead of just jumping right into a new chord progression. And then we'll fade in this coda too. Oops, need a metronome though. Okay, remember, we're not going to use these exact pads, but... Okay, so take the coda, and then this is going to get faded up. So now, let's cut these out for that part. We'll continue this and make it a little bit more in depth. So like. Change that. Having that soft synth arpeggio in the background, I think, sounds pretty good. Like, oops. Once again, make Make sure I'm recording the right stuff into this pattern. Okay. Okay, so I had some wrong notes in there, but whatever. We'll fix them. It's always part of it. It's part of the game. Oh, we can't have that swing. Obviously, that sounds goofy as hell. No swing. Okay. So let's see this chord. And then the next chord is this. I think that's what I want to do for it. It's going to get even more atmospheric, believe me. Then back to here. So coming out of the previous section, again, we're not done here, obviously, but I'm gonna get that ambience up even more. But I think that flow in general is good. In fact, what I think could be cool is like a nice kind of like a dong, like a Tibetan bowl or something. Could actually sound really cool. Do I have any samples like that? I think I do, actually. I just have to think about where they are. Maybe in resonance, actually. Natural gamelan ensemble. Let's see how this sounds. Yeah, the coda melody does actually fade in. I just have to fade in the other synth as well. Okay, so this synth melody, where is it? Here. Start it like this, and we'll fade it in, because we don't want the atmosphere to come in too suddenly. Hey, Bacon, what's going on? Yeah, I'd like to go for another hour. I think I could do another hour. This is a cool instrument. I really like this one. It's just it's a little too bassy. So it needs to be processed a little bit more. Take that bass down a little bit. And actually, yes, drum and bass kind of bass, that's exactly what I want to do. Just not right at the start. These are all instruments that I've designed at one point or another, by the way. This is for the additional pad here. Just need to find the right pad. That's out of tune. That's no good. Yeah, I think that's going to be the one. Or A one, maybe not the one. But let's put it in. It's a really beautiful sound. Okay, next step is to turn this up and get some effects on it, of course. Yeah, right now I'm only streaming twice a week. I have a lot of work I have to do most days with Impact Soundworks stuff. Very good, okay. I like the overtones on this one. And I'll do Valhalla Shimmer on this too. Fast, low cutoff, high feedback delay, turn it down. Alright, let's hear this transition now that we have a little bit more stuff. as I keep working on this. Hey, thank you for hosting me, Bacon. Very cool. Thank you. Do I have a YouTube channel? Yes, I do. It's youtube.com/ZirconST. I'll even type it in the chat. And my channel is where I have tons and tons of original tracks, remixes. I have archives of my live streams, tutorials, walkthroughs on how to use various things. So yeah, I've had it for some time actually. Okay, so this part. So I'm going to use this synth as a template, I think. And again, let's just kind of hear how this sounds in theory. Oh, you meant like an actual rhythm. Oh, okay. Yeah, that could work too. Let me just record this real quick. That sounds pretty good. What am I using? I'm using FL Studio 11, or in this case, this is FL Studio 12, the beta version. And I'm using a whole bunch of different synthesizers and plugins like Zebra, and I'll just use the bot. There you go. That's what it sounds like with the filter open. In fact, yeah, let me put a little bit of make that really slow though. And subtle too. Okay. No, sorry. There's no taboo on asking about other software. You had asked me about Reason. Sorry, I didn't answer that sooner. Reason is awesome. I've actually made sounds for Reason before, and I've used it, but for me, because a lot of the work that I do, the professional work I do, involves these big orchestral libraries. They're all for a plugin called Contact, and Contact does not work in Reason. Reason has its own ecosystem, sort of like an iPhone or something. Oh, here's the cat. Oh, where's your kitty, kitty? Say hi. You big fatso. Yeah, you big fatso. I fed you already. She's so tolerant. Look at this. Yeah, you're a good cat. You're a good cat. Who's a good cat? You're a good cat. She's tolerant because I fed her. So, okay. Since there are a lot of new people coming to the stream, I'm going to play the song back from the beginning. Ooh. Oh, but before I do, the patch... Stupid cat. The patch is... It's two oscillators. It's basically like a detuned saw wave with a detuned pulse wave. And it's going through a filter. So it's pretty simple. I might change this up a little bit more, but I mean, it does the job for now. Let's play the track from the beginning, and then we'll go and give away another album code or two. So celebrate some of these new viewers. It's a little bit more mainstream. Still working on this. So that's where we're at right now. And then this is the section, the atmospheric part that I was working on. It's a little sparse, so I want to keep working on that and improving it more. There's a question about the acoustic bass. What did I use to make that? You're probably thinking about this. This is from a plugin called Trillion, Total Bass Module. It's actually not acoustic per se. It's an electric bass, a slap bass. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so things are sounding pretty good. And I want to keep working on this atmospheric breakdown. Actually have more inharmonic material, some like really breathy, noisy things. But first, let's give away an album. I would. Oh hey, Josh Bull. Hello everyone, Bacon Donut. Biggest lurker. I'm from Europe. I can only watch you after you're done with the stream. Well, I'm glad you could catch it today. That's awesome, man. Thank you for joining us. And thanks everybody that is joining us for the first time, or the second time, or anything else. I believe this is my 10th stream, so that's cool. Anyway, here's an album code. So, go to zirconstudios.bandcamp.com. That's where you can get my music, and the link is there in the chat. And I'm going to spell it out. I'll spell out one, and then one I'll do like a riddle kind of thing for it. So this code is for unearthed, which I really like, and the code is Rottweiler 9, Acheron's Call 6, Kakarot again, Voluminous, and Mammoth. And just to do those letters again, we have Rottweiler 9, Air Conditioner 6, Kremlin, Virtual Machine. There you go. So that's the first code. Second code. The second code, I'm going to do the first. I'll paste the first 6 characters of the code in the chat. So I'm going to paste these 6 characters, and I'm going to give you the second 2 characters. And you'll have to fill them out. So let me think about the best way to do this. Okay. These 2 letters that you have to put at the end of the code to get the album is also the common abbreviation for the definitive version of Street Fighter 2 that everybody loves. So it's the abbreviation for the definitive version of Street Fighter 2. It's a little bit tricky. So that's the last 2 characters of the code that I just put in the chat. Of course, by the time you're hearing this, I put it in the chat like 30 seconds earlier, but, well, you get the idea. And that code is for identity sequence. Now, if you don't get an album, I'm going to give away a couple more in a little bit. If you don't get an album, don't fret. My stuff is available on Bandcamp. You can purchase it if you'd like to support me. You can also stream it for free using Spotify, which is great. And it's also on Pandora, so you can use that too. So even if you don't have any money, you can still support me by listening on there. And I would appreciate it if you did that. Let's get back to making some tunes. Okay, so what are we doing here? Adding more atmosphere and ambience to the next part of the track. So for this next part, I'm going to be adding in the tonal elements are good, but what we want to do is add more like textural stuff, for lack of a better way to describe it. Ah, yes, Bacon mentioned the Zircon vault, and for those of you that don't know, well, here's a link to it on my website. But basically, if you have a Twitch channel yourself, or if you don't, either way, I have a bundle of all of my music that you can purchase, and it's $80 or it's $50 if you already have some stuff. It's 10 hours of music. There's a ton of music in this thing. And you can use it as much as you want. You know, if you have your own Twitch channel and you want to stream, you want to put it in YouTube videos, as long as you buy it legally, or even if you buy it from other sources, as long as it's legal, you can use that. So definitely check that out if you have not already. All right, let's put in some more atmospheric sounds. Oh, oops. That's when I was AFK earlier. So there could be some cool sounds in here. Yeah, let's put that in. Just a little bit of extra, extra pads, a little bit of extra special sauce, so to speak, to really make this part very relaxing and meditative. The imagery that I'm thinking of for this track is I went on a trip to Japan in 2011 with Jill, and we went to the northern island, which is Hokkaido. and we went to the city of Sapporo, which had an ice festival at the time. It was absolutely freezing. It just had these really beautiful like ice sculptures and everything, and just something about like big skyscrapers and like neon lights. But then you also have these beautiful ice sculptures. So I don't know. I kind of get that vibe from this track. So I still want to put in like one or two more elements here, just subtle. So we'll check out a few options for this part. Some very cool stuff, no doubt. Oh, that actually could be cool. So I was actually playing a pad during that part. It's pretty quiet though, so probably want to make that a bit louder. That sounds awesome. I love it. Just gonna modify it a bit. When it gets down to this range, it's a little hard to hear though, so we'll just start with this. This is not a skin, this is the... Oh, somebody beat me to it. Let's hear those notes. It's actually... Okay, yeah, let's leave it at that. Just for that first opening pad. My RAM usage is getting dangerously high. I need to put some of these things on, need to bridge them. And we can do that by going here. And they, of course, changed how it's done, so I don't know how to do it anymore. Processing. Here we go. Make bridged. Oh, look at that. That's like 100 megabytes per instance of Serum that I'm doing this to. Processing. Make bridged. Yay. And we'll do it for this one too. Make bridged. Okay. I saved 5. Why does this keep coming? Don't save. Okay. So it could be cool actually to do like a kind of a glitchy drum rhythm here. And I have to figure out what exact sounds I want to use for it, but like I'll show you where I mean for this to be taking place. I can start bringing in some drums here, like something like that. I'm gonna probably have to swap the samples out a few times as I do this, but let's just start laying stuff down. That's the kind of rhythm I want for my mad beatboxing skills. So we want like a real glitchy kind of kit for this. That's the sound I have in mind. We'll see if it works. It might not. Of course, I have to turn off the swing on everything. This kind of rhythm, like. Well, I could filter this after. Once I get the pattern down, Aperfox, I can take this and then I can do more with it. But this is just to get the kind of basic sound. So in context, probably take this, render it, and process it more, but okay, so that's to give you an idea of how it fits in. Let's keep adding to it. And I'll make this double the length, and then I'm going to render it, and put it back in the project with more processing. That'll be the plan for this. Okay, now check this out. I'm going to take this pattern and record it into Edison. Okay, now, wait, no, that was bad. Okay, I want to do it on playback for, let's see, I think if we do this, okay. There, now it's on the downbeat. Okay, see song jump? Great. Now I can crop this part out of the recording. Zoom in. So what we're doing is it's like kind of making a custom drum loop from scratch, basically. zoom back out. I will, there we go, normalize it. Save sample as, we'll put this in E, G, where do I want it? I don't know where I want this. H, I have a lot of hard drives. We'll put it in bounce, and we'll call this 97 neuro small drum loop. Save. Okay. Now I can mute that and pull it in the project as a complete loop. There we go. Now we can add more processing to it. For example, do this. And then further, to make this an even better loop, let's add some isotope glitch. Browse all installed plugins, VST. Sorry, isotope stutter edit is what I meant to say. Oh, come on, I don't have it installed on this computer. Damn it. Okay, well that'll have to wait, I guess. Next time. Here we can bring in maybe a normal drum. Let's just see how that sounds. Swing again. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more with that loop. That's just, there's normally a plugin I would use to do even more with it, but I don't have it installed right now. Oh, this snare is like totally devoid of any effects. Whoa. Sorry. Let's clean this one up a little bit. Actually, we'll keep the original one off any effects track. This one will stay. Let's get a nice, like, kind of reverb. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Ship it. Drums for snare. Turn that down. That kick's probably a little too heavy for this. We could try just turning it down more, like... Still not quite the right snare. Oh, sorry, not the right kick. I'll try one other thing for now. I don't want to spend too much time on it, you know. This is just the kind of a minor part. And then also, so we have that background loop, but then we also want to have some stuff in the foreground, like let's put this on a thing because it's on a mixer track because it wasn't on one before. Clone, take this, no swing. This is all subject to change, naturally. The ideal would be to go from that to get back to this rhythm. So let's take that and put it over here. Oops. That, put it over here. And see how that kind of potentially flows. I already have that. Oops. That first note just is not triggering for some reason in that pattern. Oops. I think the piano's off here also. Sorry. So we have that kind of leading back up again. So actually, for continuity, we'll take some of the stuff that we were doing in this part, and keep it going into the next part of the breakdown where things start building up again. Right? So that way there's some continuity from one part to the next. In fact, maybe mute the piano for now. There we go. Let me see. Yeah, this is cool. And yes, thank you again for hosting me, Bacon. This is awesome, and welcome to everybody that is joining me for the first time. Just as a quick introduction, I am Zircon, Andrew Versa. You can tell I'm in the zone right now working on this track. I make electronic music, I make remixes. If you look at my page here, if you scroll down, you can visit my Bandcamp page, where I have hours and hours of music as well as free remixes. So it's not like kind of free, but like 100% free. So if you go to my Bandcamp page, you can get that stuff. You can also follow me on Twitter at ZirconST. And once again, thank you for joining me. Possibly another synth. And yeah, the drums are going to transition here, don't worry. We could do some cool stuff here. Let me just pull in some of the elements from before, though. Do here. We get these drums. It could be cool to start them filtered. I kind of like that. Let's try it. See if it's any good. Might not be. So I made this comment last time, but this is like how sausage gets made. There's a lot of trial and error. There's a lot of guesswork that goes into it. awesome. That is, I'm happy with that. And right now, this slab base is just copied and pasted. I don't know if that's going to make it in. I mean, maybe I just take that out entirely. We'll see. Arpeggio synth is like turned way down. That's the problem. It was always the problem. Where is it? Ah, Zebra 5, channel envelope. Here we go. I already had a synth that did this. Oh boy, okay. Nipples of 1,000 Sunbursts for a track name. I'll have to let that one simmer a little bit. Let's see. Oh, there's a question. Do I ever get sick of a track before I finish it? Well, I try not to work on the same thing like day in and day out, and that helps. Obviously, I hear a track a lot working on it. With any luck, I don't get sick of it because the result is something I'm really happy with. If it's a track that I don't like, something that I work on and I get frustrated with, that's when I get sick of it. But when I work on something that sounds good, you know, 2 thumbs up for that. Okay, let's see. It's 3:18. There's going to be a little bit more. I want to work on this a little bit longer. Also, yes, I do have Windows services open. I had to close my backup utility. Anyway, let's give away another album. How about Identity Sequence? I have a code for this. And the code... All right, this is going to be a little tricky. Okay. All right, here's the code. I'm going to paste it in the chat. And when I do, it's this code, but reversed. So a little bit of a challenge for you. So you have to reverse that code for that to work. Okay, let's hear that atmospheric part again. Especially what might be cool is to fade out the Kodo here too. As the old stuff comes back in, have the Kodo fade out. So sounding pretty good. Ooh, let's bring this back. From the very intro, this wasn't being used for anything. Okay, all right, yeah, let's hear everything from the top, just so you have a sense of where we're at now. 10 hours spent on this track. So this so far is very closely lining up with how much time I would expect to spend on a song. 12 to 15 hours. We're at 10 hours, and I'd say it sounds like it's about, 2/3 to 3/4 done. Here we go. Enjoy so far. So we'll do more stuff here, etc. Probably even more, you know. All right, so that's where we're at. Yes, excuse my language. I'm gonna try to keep the show PG-13 at most. I apologize. Censor that out on the YouTube archive. Anyway, yeah, so it's not done yet. You know, you're seeing slash hearing maybe 70% done. There's stuff I want to polish. There's stuff I want to fine tune. You can tell. I mean, there's a lot of detail work that I've been putting in lately. I want to do more stuff with the atmospheric breakdown, more elements, intricate sequencing on the drums, some reverses and chops. I want to go back and do a pass on the lead, the bass synths and the main drop. When we do the drop again, I'm going to add some new synths there too. And then the intro might be changing a little bit in the intro. We'll see. But yeah, so definitely coming along. I think what would be awesome is if I could finish this in either this Saturday or next Monday. I think I could probably do it. I'll also most likely be streaming again sometime this week because Jill's not here and I'm really bored and lonely. So, so keep that in mind too. There's a request to open channel 22. Here you go. Thank you for the kind words, guys. I definitely appreciate it. I'm going to give one code away, one more code for today. This one is Back to Unearthed. And for this one, let's make it interesting. And okay, the first two characters, it's the abbreviation for a game that I said might be my favorite PC game of all time. So the first two letters, it's an abbreviation for what I said was, I think I said this, my favorite PC game of all time, or one of my favorite PC games. And I also hinted at it in this stream already. So you need to put in the first two characters. This is just the last 6. You need to do it at zirconstudios.bandcamp.com/yum. Man, that delay is really a pain, isn't it? Okay, anyway. So good luck to whoever gets that. So I'm going to wrap up for today. Like I said, yeah, Thursday I might be doing some streaming, doing some more game soundtrack work, and then on Saturday I'll get back to working on this track. Again, just so I don't burn out on it. So if you would like to follow me on Twitter, at ZirconST, follow this channel so you can be notified when I stream. Also, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ZirconST, I put all of these live streams on there, so you can see them anytime you want. I also have lots of other cool stuff on there. Other than that, thank you for coming. Thank you for offering your support, making me laugh. Hopefully I'm entertaining you and you get to hear some music, and hopefully you don't get too sick of it. But doing all this has inspired me. I definitely think I can get another EP, if not album, done this year, maybe even by the end of summer, all in a kind of like a new style, sort of maybe a cross between Getaway and then some new stuff. So I think that would be cool. Other than that, I think I'm going to sign off for today and get some lunch. So thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, supporting, following, all that good stuff. Special thank you to Bacon in particular for always being an awesome dude and for hosting the channel. So that's very much appreciated. And all right, this is Zircon signing off for today. Enjoy the rest of your day/night.